Hello and welcome back to the Trademark Sports YouTube channel. Today we are going to be going through my 2024 season predictions. So running through what I think is going to win the minor premiership, win the actual premiership, top try scorer, top point scorer, and the Dally M, and talk about a couple different players and teams that I think will be up in the front running for those awards and positions and stuff throughout the 2024 Nrl season. So if you like this video, please do drop a thumbs up, leave a comment talking about your season predictions, who you think, like what you agree with, what I'm going to say, what you disagree with, and whatnot. And as well, if you're new to the channel and you want to see more rugby league content as we get into the footy season, which is only 2 weeks away from proper football, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. So we'll get straight into it now. I'm debating on which one to start with. I reckon we'll go the minor premiers. Everyone's going to hate it because it's the obvious answer, I think, in my opinion, and that's the Penrith Panthers. I just think, yes, okay, they've lost some depth in their squad. Stephen Crichton's no longer there. Spencer Lenu's no longer there. And they've lost a few players over the last couple of seasons. But their system is just so good that I don't know how much it's really going to matter. Stephen Crichton's obviously going to be a massive loss. Taylor May's coming back into that team. Jesse McLean's there. You've also got Dane Laurie, Tyrone Peachey. So many guys. Paul Alamotti that can slot into that spot. And again, because Penrith is such a good system, I think that these kind of players will just improve so much just by being at that club and around that culture. And yeah, they've got the cattle now as well to, when there's origin period and they lose so many players, they come in and like other guys will just step up. Like even like young guys like Jack Cole for Penrith is just this, is sort of this rookie coming through, but is basically the one who's touted to get the 6 jersey next year once Jerome Luai goes. So they've obviously got high hopes for him. Other teams that I think could be minor premiership, we'll talk about them also a little bit later, but Rabbitohs, I think they've got a really good squad. Unfortunately had some injuries to start the season, so they're going into the season without Cody Walker, apparently, Campbell Graham and Tyrone Munro. So their outside backstocks are light because Jack Whiten is also suspended. So I think the Broncos are another good shout. Their depth, as you saw in the trial against Wingham the other day, is pretty good. But they've also got a bit weaker too. No Flegler, no Farnworth. But again, you've got so many guys coming through and filling into those spots that will it really matter that much. Roosters are another shout for the minor premiership. Like, if they figure it all out, which I've got a feeling they will this season, I think they could definitely be one to watch for the whole comp. Again, we'll touch on that a little bit later, and I might go into a little bit more depth about why I think they're going to be... like everyone's been high on them for the last couple of years, but they've never really shown much. It's just taken them a while to click throughout the seasons. And I think they've figured out the formula. So the Roosters are certainly one to watch. Again, for the minor premiership, and that's 4 sides I've got there, but you could also throw in even honestly a Sharks because their draw's so soft. I'm trying to think who else. Like, there's probably going to be some bolter team that comes out. Like, that's where there is every single year. But yeah, so my minor premiership contenders, I've got Panthers, Broncos, South, Rabbits. It's boring, but they're the best teams in the comp. So that takes us over to talking about my top try scorer predictions for the season. So having a look at it, Alex Johnson has 26 tries to get this season, and he'll break Ken Irvine's record. Well, 26 tries to get. I think he's a big chance of getting it this season. I think on that left edge, once everyone's fit and like everyone's there, you've got Cody Walker at 6, Latrell coming out the back there, either Jai Arrow or Tallis Duncan or Cameron Murray or Kaloa Matangi, whoever they have at that left second row spot. Then Jack Whiten and Alex Johnson. Now I think Jack Whiten might take some ball off him, because he's a run first kind of player. We saw that when he's a 5'8", let alone as a centre. But in saying that, Jack Whiten is such a big body to have out wide. The wingers are just going to jam him so much, and that's going to leave Alex Johnson one of the best finishers we've ever seen, if not the best finisher that we've ever seen. Just with so much acres of space that Cody Walker's just going to put like the ball on his chest. Latrell do the same thing, and he's going to score 1,000 tries on that left wing for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, as we've seen him do before. So I think that's definitely not out of the question. Another guy that I'm really excited about for the top try scorer market is Greg Marju. So he scored, I think it was 20 tries last season for the Knights on the left wing. Dom Young scored 24 and took out top try scorer last year on the right. However, they're bringing over Tyson Frizzell onto the left side apparently this year, which means that Kalen, that's the thing as well. Kalen Ponga as a left side player, loves it, and he's going to have the best second rower at the club on that left side, which gives you, again, let's talk about stacked left sides. Kalen Ponga, Tyson Frizzell, Bradman Best, Greg Marju. good luck defending that with KP going around crazy. So yeah, I think and the thing is it's different with Greg Marju to Alex Johnson. Obviously doesn't have the sheer speed and acceleration of Alex Johnson, but one-on-one, it's pretty hard to stop Greg Marju. He's a very, very big dude. So yeah, I think those are probably my two front runners, I'd say, for that spot. Other guys you could chuck in there again is Dom Young, maybe even a Jason Saab. You just got to think about the really good clubs and their best players. So even something like a Corey Oates on the Sting at the Broncos, Jesse Arthurs. Who else? What are the other good clubs that got one stint at wing? And Mike Acevo, he wasn't even that good last season. He still scored 20-odd tries. Michael Ravalawa scored 20 tries in an awful Dragons team. Speaking of the Dragons, you might notice on my head, we've got a St. George Illawarra Dragons hat, courtesy of League Lids. League Lids are a New Zealand-based company making really nice retro-style hats for every single club. Head over to leaguelids.com and check out, see if your club's still available, because a lot of them have sold out. That's how much demand there is for these hats. So if you do go check them out and decide to grab one, make sure you chuck in the code trademark for 10% off your hats and get them now, and hopefully they should come by round one. As I said, they're a New Zealand based business, so sometimes the shipping can take a little while, and that's out of their hands, guys. But make sure you go over there and check out leaguelids.com and cop some absolute heat for the 2024 Nrl season. Moving on to my top point scorer, there's a couple of shouts. Obviously you've got those dominant guys at clubs and that sort of thing that really seem to step up, stand out. But I've got Nathan Cleary. I think it's the year that Nathan Cleary plays a lot of club football. Obviously, the last couple of years, he has been there a lot, obviously. But around that Origin period, he seems to always sort of cop an injury or something and miss about 5 or 6 games after Origin moving into the finals. I swear the last couple of years, he's played 4 games from Origin to finals time, and they still come out and win the comp. It's just nuts, to be honest. But I think this year, he's really going to put together a full 27-round season. Hopefully I don't jinx him and doesn't get injured or something like that. That always seems to be the way when I make a comment like that. But yeah, I think as well, he's been playing with Jerome Luai as his 5'8" since they were 14, so it's about 10 years. If you don't think that Nathan Cleary is going to come out and want to win a comp again with him and play his best of his ability, you are silly. Yes, it's obviously hard to get him up and motivated for a 4th year in a row. Technically, I suppose, essentially 5th because they made the grand final in 2020, but again, they keep sending off all these really good players, so they've got it. They want to win it for them. It's one last dance, one more time kind of stuff. Other guys that are definitely up there, Ruben Garrick, we'll see. Apparently he's meant to be playing centre, so we'll see how he goes there. He scores a bucket load of tries, kicks goals. Valentine Holmes as well, if the Cowboys can click. Who else you got? Even a Zach Lomax, if he starts scoring tries, depending, we don't even know what role he's going to play. We'll have to see in this week's trials. How exciting. Other guys, when you look around the comp, that could be up there, even a Sam Walker if he starts goal kicking really well. Well, that's the other thing about Zach Lomax, if Kyle Flanagan goal kicks, but that's neither here nor there. Who else? I'm just trying to think. It's obviously going to be someone pointing out. Latrell Mitchell if he stays on the park. Nico Hines as well. You guys let me know who you think is going to be your top point scorer. Jermaine Osako, another really good name there. It could be a shout, but I think Nathan Cleary is going to have I reckon he's going to have his best season yet. Anyway. And what that does is take me straight into my Dalian predictions. I've got Nathan Cleary. I think, rugby league's a team sport, and Nathan Cleary, out of everyone, knows that and doesn't really care about the individual accolades from what it seems like. But it is probably that, and having a dominant Origin, the last cherries on the cake, really, for what Nathan Cleary can do in his career. And he's 25 or 26, which is just nuts. By the way, he could genuinely go down as the GOAT. That's a crazy start to his career. But there's other guys I reckon knocking on the door. To be honest, my smoky is Scott Drinkwater. I love the way he plays football. Yes, there's a couple of guys at the Cowboys will take points off him when they win, like Tommy Dearden, Reece Robson can do it, Ruben Cotter, Val Holmes. I think more often than not, he's going to be getting 4 to 6 points per game when they're going good. And I think they will again this season, especially they've got a pretty strong start, pretty weak draw. Hopefully they hit the ground running and can start the season well. He would have come 3rd, I think, last season, but he had 6 points deducted, and then he missed 4 or 5 rounds through suspension. And the Cowboys weren't fantastic last year, which I'll look at that and go, if he can stay not suspended and fit for the full year, and the Cowboys go well, he could certainly be up there. The other one, again, I've got is Kalen Ponga. Yes, it's going to be so hard for him to replicate what he did towards the back end of that 2024 season, but everything, at 2023 even, but everything I see coming out of the Knights, and yes, obviously not going to say, oh yeah, last season was good, but we're not going to be able to do it again and stuff, but the boys look absolutely chiseled. Kalen Ponga is saying, like, sitting out of the All-Star game because he wants to play for the Knights and wants to play Queensland. Like, he's, like, determined and dedicated to the cause. All the Knights guys seem like they're buying in. So I think they could be on for another massive year, led by KP, of course. But the big one, who do I think is going to win the competition in 2024? I sort of hinted at it a bit before, and I think it will be the Penrith Panthers. Their squad is just ridiculous. Even with these new guys coming in, like we've seen the last couple of years, they've lost. I mean, last season they were without Api Coruscant and Viliame Kikau, still won the comp. Season before that, Matt Burton left. He was one of the most instrumental players to that team. Kurt Capewell left, still won the comp. Like, it just, the systems I'm talking about, like, they've just got this process. They stick to their guns, they get through their work every single week, and they just win football. They dominate the ruck every single week, and their outside backs are better than everyone else's every single week. So it's just a recipe for winning and success. The other clubs you've got, I think the Roosters genuinely could be maybe the biggest contender this season. I think they're finally figuring out how to play with Sam Walker as their 7. Obviously, they had a bit of an adjustment period there after Cooper Cronk. Brought in Kyle Flanagan, didn't work. Brought in Sam Walker, hasn't worked so far. We've seen it work. We've seen it really click and gel for a couple of games at a time. But then going into this season, like last season, they brought in Brandon Smith, so another element to the spine they've got to figure out how to play with and what to do. So going into this year, the signings have brought in a Spencer Leniu, Dom Young, really. So they're not yes, they're really, really good players and going to be integral to the squad, but they're not the core. They're not the spine. They don't have to change the way that they play football to accommodate for a winger and for a front rower, if you know what I mean by that. So I think the Roosters definitely, if they can gel and click, they're going to be scary. And again, it's a big if. And I think the last couple of seasons we've been really caught up in their squad. And there is a saying, I do like it. It's a champion team beats a team full of champions. And what I mean by that is, you look at Penrith, not every player in that team is a star. Guys like Moses Leota has gone seriously underrated last few years. Dylan Edwards as well. Isaac Tongo, they're amazing players, but they're not considered the best in their position yet. But then you move over to the Roosters and have just got stars everywhere, a team full of champions. So yeah, you just got to be able to make them gel and make them work. But I think if they can do that, they're just going to be so good. The Rabbitohs, again, obviously missing Campbell Graham for 6 months hurts, but having Jack White in there, I guess, relieve some of that pain there. If Cody Walker can stay fit, fingers crossed. Respectfully, the calf muscle is a little bit of an old man injury. They do say once your calves start to go, then could be ropes. But I think Lachlan Ilias, he had a down year last season. I think it's just a bit of second-year syndrome. I still think there is a really good player in Lachie Ilias. I think everyone's just harping on him a little bit too much because of the fact that Reynolds left and got to a grand final, that sort of thing. But I do think Lachie Ilias is still quite a good player. Other clubs, Brisbane Broncos, of course. Again, that top 4 that I thought could win the minor premiership, I think could still win the comp as well. Some Smokies. The Knights could go on a run. The Sharkies, if they decide to show up in the finals, could go on a run. I just think, so I see 14 teams making the 8, but I see probably 4 with a chance of winning the comp. So I think that's just the levels of the competition at the moment. The Storm as well, I suppose, if they can make their forwards work, they could definitely be up there. But yeah, so my season predictions for 2024 summed up are the minor premiership going to the Panthers, top try scorer being Alex Johnston, top point scorer Nathan Cleary, Dally M, Nathan Cleary, Premiers, Panthers. So really stock standard and boring. So I apologise for that. If you've made it this far and get to the video, what are we going to say? I was going to say make it a Go Dragons, but if you don't like the Dragons, you're not going to say it. We'll make it crystal ball for your predictions. How about that? So thank you for watching the video. If you've liked it and made it this far, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more info, comment your predictions down in the comment section, and always remember to Scotty, drink your water.